Hey, this message is only meant for maybe one or two people. But I'm going to kind of give you a heads up of where I'm at on my journey. My journey has not been a smooth road. It's been ups and downs and going and back and forth, but still, I think I'm making progress. And it's not my power, but in the Lord's power. Give Him all the credit for that. Again, I am not where I want to be right now as far as my spiritual maturity. Still, I'm not walking with Christ. I find myself falling back into old habits, profanity, wrong thinking. But I still find myself struggling against that in the Lord's power and still making progress, getting to where I want to be. It kind of reminds me about a company I'm with, for you one or two out there that this message applies for. A company that I was with has something called structural tension. And it says, as you keep going in your discipline, as you keep going in your progress to get to where you want to be, you got to have a clear picture of what you want your desired outcome to look like. And I can see every time that I've struggled, in my journey, my spiritual journey, drawn closer and closer to Christ, wanting to be His disciple, not wanting to be a Christian, but wanting to be a disciple of Christ. As I start stumbling back, I 100% feel I start losing sight of what that desired outcome is. It starts getting foggy. I'm not thinking about it. So it is critical that it is crystal clear what you want to be like when you get to your end. And heck, in the spiritual life, we'll never get to our end, until we leave this place. But again, for you one or two, I want to give you some encouragement. If you're on your journey, you find yourself struggling, tripping, keep on fighting, keep pressing through. Hey, one of these things I love, I was rereading again. I'm actually going back in my John 7:17 study and starting at day one again and just keep pressing forward. I've been on this since December, the end of December. And I see myself doing this study until they put me into the ground. It's so much critical. Because again, I'm not doing a Bible study for the purpose of filling my head with, useless knowledge or Bible facts. I don't really care about that. I want to draw closer and closer to Christ. And how do we do that? By studying His teachings. But not only studying them, applying them. That's what being a disciple is. So it's the red letters in the Bible. I see myself doing this till they put me in the ground. I will always have this book. Always be studying it. But anyways, in one section there, the author, he talks about how to get the most out of this book. And one thing, I'm going to just hit one little point. It says, remember, it takes self-discipline. And the passage he has is 2 Timothy 1:7. For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power, of love, of self-discipline. And it says self-discipline is an investment, and you have to be willing to make the sometimes painful deposits. For me, intellectually, I'm not the best when it comes to memorizing stuff. And sometimes I don't have that discipline to stay on task. I start doing the squirrel moments, going all over those. But keep drawing myself back and making that painful investment so I can have my deposit. What's my deposit going to be? It's going to be my desired outcome. I want to be a spiritual man. High spiritual maturity. I have all the teachings of Christ memorized, but not only memorized, but memorized for the purpose of putting them into action on a daily basis. I want to be that man. I want to be that one that is, constantly walking with the Lord. Because I notice every time I do walk with the Lord, I'm close to Him, studying His Word, following His precepts, man, the peace and the joy that I feel. And then when I start straying from that, that's where stress comes in. That's where frustration with daily circumstances come in. So I want this desired outcome, but that self-discipline is, that's my motivating factor. And it says, no one likes brushing or flossing their teeth, but most enjoy the idea of keeping them. So they discipline themselves each day to do them. I beg you to develop the self-discipline, the daily self-discipline of putting Jesus first. If your discipline is motivated by love and a hunger for God, again, what is your discipline motivated by? Mine is love, hunger for God, but I want to be this type of a disciple. I want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. If it's disciplined by those, it will be handsomely rewarded. Soon your discipline will no longer be painful investment towards something you don't yet possess, but rather the tireless protection of the treasure you already have. So I want to encourage you guys, keep pressing. Pressing what? Press to your desired outcome, whatever that is. Make sure that is crystal clear in your head. And you will have ups, you will have downs, but keep looking at that, because that's going to be the power to get you to it. If you have the common way that the world motivates us, which is problem solving mentality, I got to fix this, I got to fix that. You're going to be constantly going back and forth for your whole life. Because if you want to fix pain and then you start getting out of the pain, that pain was the thing that was motivating you to keep going. And then once you no longer have it, you're going to fall back into your old habits. That's what I see in my own life. When I'm doing that as a pain motivation, I'm constantly falling back to my old habits, because I lose my motivation as soon as I get out of pain. But when you have structural discipline, this desired outcome, what you want, it's going to be motivated by the distance between where you're currently at and what you want. It's going to keep pulling you. And this thing's so crystal clear, so high, that you're going to keep going for it. And even if you do achieve it, man, get another desired outcome. Keep pressing. And that's going to be that constant force, keep pulling you. Keep this thing crystal clear, because as soon as you lose it, you will fall back. Peace out, guys, gals. Encourage you. Serve your King. Love him. We're only here for a limited time. So many people live their life as if they're going to be here forever, not realizing today could be your last day. Make a choice. Who do you want to serve? You want to serve yourself? You want to serve the world, serve people? Or you want to serve God, that thing that is eternal? Man, I'm no dummy. For me, I want to serve the Lord. Peace out. Love you guys. Love you in the Lord.